Alright folks, I might be telling you, pull your frame, because you might not be able to do it this way. So, to make sure one more time, of course our brackets and such, that fell down. That's not hanging or anything like that. This is all clear here. I don't see anywhere where it is hung, with the exception on our frame here a little bit. Should be able to get it past that. I don't know that you'll be able to do this at home. Like I said, we might revisit the taking the frame down. This frame is really light. If you have a buddy with you, you ain't got no problem manipulating that frame. You know, that frame really doesn't weigh that much. One more good look. Make sure. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. She is smoked. She's a smoked. Now that's good. That's why we sell them a clutch, right? Clutch, slave cylinder, the whole works, because this slave cylinder looks like crap. Look like crapola. Alright, one little wire that's on this bracket. We'll have to loosen that one up. We'll leave the retainer on it. The retainer clip, we'll leave that on it. We can easily come in here, or should be able to. All right, so I bent it up. I know you can't see that, but I bent it up. Now I'm gonna bend it back down. It's just a sheet metal piece, so it should be very easy to do. Now I did drain the oil out of that. I forgot to mention that. That kind of sort of goes without saying, because I'm assuming anybody that does it would also change the oil. So I need to get some camera angle here so you can all see the carnage we got going on in here. And I can tell you that the destruction is a common problem associated with these cars. So that's nothing like, oh my God, I've never seen this before. No, it's actually a very common thing. So anyway, the housing looks like poopy. This will have to be polished up, but generally when you polish this up, it's good enough for that bearing to slide on. We make sure that it's lubricated pretty good. That should work. That should give them a few more years that car has in it. And well, yeah, exactly. So shouldn't be a problem. Like I said, this frame right here is really light. One finger can lift it. So, well, not, you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, it is a light frame, yes. But anyway, pause you up and continue on. All right, so you'll need to pull your little fork off. All right. This is worn, obviously. We need to clean the ball area. You need to clean your ball. That gets greased up real good, so it'll pivot in there real nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and fix the shift fork by simply putting a little bit of weld on it and recontouring that shape. Get. No puppies while welding. Get Zeus. Get. Dog is so nosy, I don't want him to get his eyes hurt. And yes, I wanted to do this with a welding rod instead of the MIG welder. And yes, before somebody makes any kind of a stupid comment on the on me trying to stick in the rod, that is a Harbor Freight machine, or well, to be, it's the Vulcan, and it's, when it comes to welding with the welding rod, it's a piece of crap. There you go. I mean, the arc start is terrible on this machine. Once it's welding, it's great, but the arc start is terrible. All right, so now on the next part, use a little bit of common sense, and it'll all come together. Now, there's a lot of this stuff, when it comes to sequence, is really overrated, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So here, you just got to use your head a little bit. Align your clutch the best that you can. As far as these bolts are concerned, you know, the pattern, it doesn't matter. Cross them up correct way. Don't matter where you start. As long as you're pulling it up slow, you're fine. And of course, we're not going to take a bolt down here and run them all in. That's just not what you do. You go a little bit on top, a little bit on the side, a little bit on the other side. You know, just a little bit at a time. So keep the gap as even as you can. I mean, you're gonna have to move it. I mean, that's just, it's not gonna go away, you know. We are gonna have to move this body, so that part goes without saying. You know, people get entirely too wound up on that. You know, draw it up as even as you can. Take a little bit of extra time if you're worried about it. There you go, let's touch it. So, you know, and this is not rocket science. I mean, it really isn't. This one here, now it does not have a pilot bearing. It just sticks into the housing, or into the flywheel, I should say. Holy smokes, the camera has been running the whole entire time. I didn't realize it. Anyway, normally they warn you about using excessive lubrication, grease for that matter, and I'm going to warn you right now. Do not use heavy lubrication if this has happened to you. You're going to want to use heavy lubrication. Whoa. Easy breezy. So the pads, this is essentially what it's going to do. This is a nice, there's nothing hanging or anything like that, so that we're in good shape with this one. Got a little mar over here on the side, but I don't feel anything being uneven. Looks like the assembly is nice and straight, so that's what we're after. We're going to put some heavy grease on that on the slide part of it. You see these ridges in here? Unfortunately, we're going to put grease on it. I mean, it don't matter what anybody says. We're going to put grease on it. That's all there's to it, because the housing got too much damage. Now you are going to get some spline grease with it in the little package. The easiest way to apply it, in my opinion, is with a little acid brush. Throw it away when you get done. Now on that one right there, when you get the transmission back in and you get that in position, where you line it up with your dowels, your dowel location that is, you're going to have a 22mm socket in the front of the crankshaft. And this would be nice if you had a buddy helping you. So my ratchet is right there. It's hooked onto the crankshaft. And what did the mouse do? What I did, I got particularly lucky. I got my arm back here and I turned the crankshaft and it fell into place. So I got lucky. That's all there's to it. You know, generally this is a lot easier when you have two people. So, you know, have a buddy or somebody helping you, make life a lot easier for you. And other than that, well, now we're going to put some bolts back in the transmission. Not going to film that part. Do the same thing you did taking them out. All right, so you get people crying a lot about the bolts. You know, you want the bolts. Ideally, you're going to want to bolt the top, but you don't have to have it, because guess what? This transmission don't weigh nothing. One bolt in the housing, holding on to the dowels, it ain't going to go nowhere. It cannot go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. You know, this, for one, that transmission, you can take it in your hands and just shove it in. You know, they don't weigh that much. I've got the bolts around the bottom, and I only got one bolt that I actually pulled up tight. So there you go, and it's hanging right there. Like I said, it's not that heavy. I don't want to go ahead and lift it, because I don't want my top stand to fall off, only because I'm trying to explain it to you. So just take my word for it. People wind themselves up way too much on that stuff. All right, this is the time where I'm going to tell you, time to clean up your tools a little bit, your mess and all that good stuff, because I want to see all my bolts, all my fasteners that I use, I want to see them on the bench without all the other stuff laying around. So that way I don't forget, and that's just a personal opinion, but that way I don't forget what all got to go back in, and I remember at that point in time where it came from. So like I said, I put some stuff up, I know what I use, so it's easy enough to get it back out when I need it. Continuation, I'll put our little bracket back on, our wire bracket, I'll put our boot back on, and now this sitting nice and straight, as you'll see here in just a second. Put the slave cylinder in place. I really don't know if I showed it before, but it was, the whole thing was sitting lopsided. I already knew what was going on when it was going on. So anyway, that's where I'm at on that. 12 millimeter. Torque to spec. Now this, like I said, this is sitting pretty good. It's got a little wiggle, and to be honest, it's got a little bit more wiggle than what it should have, but it is what it is. We can't fix that part unless we replace the transmission. Now our fitting here needs to sit straight, so I might as well go ahead, do this while it's out in the open. Needs to be reasonably straight, I should say. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead, stick some more bolts in it, and start putting some of the transmission mounts back and all that good stuff. Not going to film that. You should know how to do that. All right, now if you remember previously, we gave this assembly a little bit more angle. Now I want to go ahead and take this angle back up. I want this to get closer. As a matter of fact, we can go ahead and put our brace back in the front. We can go ahead and do that now since the vehicle is down, and that way I'm holding a proper elevation on it anyway. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And battery is about dead again. That's why I don't like the GoPro. But anyway, so a little bit of irony for you. Oh, battery almost dead. Real quick. These were in the transmission mount, okay? That's the part where I was saying, when we took it apart, where I said, that's odd. Didn't seem like it was tight at all. Well, I got to looking. These are the same bolts as in the engine. So, long story short, I figured out what's wrong. Somebody reversed the two. So there was 2 long ones, 2 short ones in that transmission bracket, where they should have had 4 long ones, and these 2 shorter ones should have been in the engine, or transmission to engine, and that way they would have bottomed all the way out. The bracket would have been tight. So I'm going to turn this off because battery's dead. So unfortunately, my little plan is not working out too good with the whole GoPro situation, and quite frankly, I'm tired of messing with it. The batteries are running down way too fast. I mean, obviously I'm going to have to get this job done at some point in time. But anyway, I'm back on the phone. So on the front bracket, I went ahead and bolted this up. And also the mount itself is bolted up, so it should slip right on that frame. Now the back one, we can put the mount on as well. We can do this one also. The only thing is, you will not be able to put the bolt through it and everything like I did here. So this one should line up on the frame once we go straight in with the frame. That's going to be, I mean, for me to show you that, how I'm going to lift the frame, that would be a tough job, so I'm probably not going to do that. I did do a little changing in my casing, and this is just for those of you that wonder what in the world this chain is. My A-frame is over the top, and I can manipulate the engine a little bit with my A-frame. I can show you right here, so I'm sure you can see that. So that's why I did that, so I have a little bit more freedom, and I don't have to crawl up and down. If you have a mounting bracket like I had on top of it, then that's a different situation. If you're going to do it on the ground, so that's just a matter of adjusting it, or have your buddy adjust it. But anyway, keep going. Oh God, dog it! I just hit my nail. Oh, I need alcohol. Oh, sucker. So apparently somebody got mad not too long ago about me making a comment about the lubricant that actually doesn't do nothing. The penetrant, I should say, that doesn't do anything. You know, I use WD, I use Kroll, like a lot of other people do. But as a penetrant, proven over and over again that they just don't do jack. And I guess some people just cannot take it. They got themselves all wound up on it. I was done watching as soon as he talked that. Okay, whatever. Then don't watch. All I can tell you is, if penetrant doesn't penetrate rusted bolts, it's not going to do it. Maybe if you leave it sitting for 8 weeks, but even at that, I don't think it does. So, get yourself unwound there, brother. Anyway, so now I push the frame up, and all of this good stuff here is going to be reasonably close. So this is the part where what I said earlier, we can start these bolts in here. So you're going to have to bear with me because, well, I'm going to pause you back up for just a second. Well, I got to organize a little bit because it's getting messy again. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, by the way, service information is really not ever bad. But had I done exactly what service information wants me to do, I'd have to do a lot more work. So, sometimes we can skip odd and end things. Not a big deal. And a little bit of, mechanical know-how, it definitely gets the job done. So we've got this metal line, of course, to hook back up. To see, of course, I'm going to have to see where exactly it ran. It ran behind the wire. So right there should have been where this little darling ran, and that is the spot right there. That is the sweet spot. Wiggle that line. That fitting will go in much easier. Just saying. Put these bolts back on. Remember your bracket. I've already put it back on. What the heck have we got going on over here? Alright, camera is in the way. Alright folks, I'm going to move you over a little bit. I used the wrong bolt? Yes I did. Sorry, I did use the wrong bolt. see where we're at on that one. Now the brakes, we did not disturb. So, that being said, shouldn't be an issue with brakes. Yep. Let's see. Oh. What you think, guys? Is that going to be enough? It sure feels like it's got a full pedal. We'll cycle this a couple more times. Now, you tell me, because I didn't see it. I would assume that probably is good enough, but now that we cycled it a few times, I'm going to open that bleeder one more time. Like I said, normally these systems are pretty good about coming right back. So I'm going to call it right there until I get the vehicle started up. All right. Moving on. That was a 10, by the way. Wrong way there, Holmes. All right. Okay, so let's see what we got left. So we got the battery. Okay, so we got computer bracket, we've got the battery tray, we got the intake, all the intake items. We've got to put that back on. So now this would be a good time to take this plug and put it back. Get that plug back in. Put this one back in its place. So we'll put everything back in its place. Now we're going to do that one. We're going to tighten that up right there where it goes. That particular one, I don't have one like that here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little zip tie on that, which should be perfectly acceptable considering the fact that it can't go anywhere. I had a couple more of those, but I am out now. I'm going to have to order some. So we'll do it this way. I think this will be acceptable. Not touching anything. And besides that, that was broken before I got a hold of it, so it's a free fix as far as I'm concerned. Tighten this up. Now that we got it all going our way. So now, bracket is secured, nice and straight. That looks nice and straight. There's nothing touching. Plug. That's fastened back up. We fastened this up. That was broken in the first place. So battery tray is going in next. Now that guy right there has got a broken bolt. The actual hold down bolt is broken. I didn't break it. They had the like a roll of duct tape wedged in it. So I did not do that, and I'm also not going to fix it without later on talking to the customer. We can do that later if they want it fixed. If they don't, which they're probably not, I can already tell you, we're just going to put it back the way it came and call it for what it is, an old vehicle. Caught a pin in that I didn't find a while ago. I found it on the Driver's side CV axle. Ladies and gentlemen, I try to really condense this video down to a manageable level. I hope that works out. You know, I hope it ain't too long. I don't know yet because, well, just because I haven't looked at it yet. I'm hoping at the end of the day that I don't have to cut a lot of stuff. I hate doing that. So put the cotter pin back in, and now we're going to put the wheels back on. Ironically enough, this wheel here on the passenger side, it was on so tight, a big impact would hardly take it off, and the other side was almost completely loose. Now I'm going to pause you up. I'm going to get this tightened up and see if we can get a little bit of clutch action going when we start it up. All right, so now you have to take my word for what I'm about to tell you. So, oh, there goes the compressor. All right, so fact and fiction. All right, so I'm going to start this piggy up, and I'm going to shift this thing. And there's not going to be any grinding. You should be able to hear that, and you will hear. I got the tires fairly up on the ground, so you will hear that wheel back there. It's going to spin since I'm still racked up. Let me go a little bit lower. You can hear it better. Now you can hear it better. So it flawlessly runs through the gears. No problem there at all. So now, that being said, we're going to end the video right here because regardless of anything, it's going to be a long video. I'm going to have to split it in two pieces. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you do it on a 2007 Kia Rio. That's, to my knowledge, the best way to change a clutch in one. So anyway, we got us a clutch in there. It's working. We did a couple other things that should have been good for it. And, well, we'll see you on the next one. Comments, concerns, questions, put it in the comment box. You know, don't be shy. But on the other hand, don't be stupid. So we'll see you on the next one. A little bit of bonus. That's, I think you've seen me do it before. I did it in other videos. That's what I actually use to fill gear oil. That should come bailing out of here any second. I suspect that thing was a little bit low. There it is. I'll let off of it. I'll put my end piece back on it. A little bit of bonus for you. Perhaps it is easier just to unplug it. I'm going to put this back up, and that's that. There you go. I mean, there you go. There's a little bit of bonus for you.